Hey, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Injury-wise, it looks like things are improving across the board with the exception of Little and Olson. Any update on those two?
Not really. Greg's in protocol, so we have to wait on that. And Greg Olson and Greg Little, it's day by day. We'll find out updates tomorrow.
I know, obviously, it's kind of new for you to be looking at the whole team, especially the offensive line, but what do you see from Dennis Daly? I know he's another young guy, but if Greg's not able to go, obviously Dennis is out there.
Yeah, hey, you know what? He's really had 2 good days of practice. I've stood behind the offense in practice this week, and we've talked about just how we need to get better, not on both sides of the line, offense and defensive lines. And I think he's definitely done that. He's working his butt off.
How do you get better on both sides of the line?
I'm sorry?
How do you get better at it?
Because we're going against each other, ones against ones. Okay, it's competition instead of going against the scouts all the time. That's one way that we felt like we could improve.
Have you been spending, do you have someone else kind of overseeing the secondary now?
No, Rock. Rock works along with me as well as Vincent. They work along with me, and so I conduct the meetings in the secondary like on Thursdays and Fridays, and I've been able to do that. So we haven't changed our routine at all.
Harry, will you be calling defensive plays this weekend, or will Eric Washington be doing that?
I'm not going to reveal that. That's the strategy of the game. So you just have to wait to game day.
Do you prefer, and this might coincide with your answer previously, but do you prefer to be upstairs or downstairs?
Either way, I was upstairs previous just so I could see the coverages and see the defense and be able to communicate with the guys down on the field. Obviously, I'll move down on the field this week, and Rock will move upstairs. So I'll give that away. Yes.
Yeah.
Harry, will it be either you or Eric or some combination?
That's going to be game day strategy.
But nobody else would factor into it, I'm assuming.
Nobody else would factor in.
Be either you or him. Is it at least fair to say that?
That's fair to say that. Yes.
For a young quarterback like Kyle, does it help him seeing a team that he's seen before? Or is it another challenge because they now have film on him because they've seen him?
Well, that's a great question. And I don't know if I could answer that because I think that's probably a better question for Scott Turner. I would think that it would be good for Kyle because he's seen them before and that he's had experience with them before. And obviously they've seen him, but Kyle's, he's seen some of the schemes that they've run against him, and therefore he's now going to be a lot sharper and keener when he sees the same schemes again.
Harry, as you guys look to snap this losing skid, how critical is it going to be just to get Christian going again? Obviously, he's had a great year, but the past few, just trying to get him back on a roll to help you guys win.
Yeah, well, it's no secret that he's definitely the big playmaker in our offense, and he gives us juice, he gives us energy, and so it'll be real important to see if we can get him off to a fast start, and see if we can get him to finish strong.
You talked a lot about Ron yesterday, but who in your past has been a big influence on your coaching career?
Well, I would be remiss to say that Tom Coughlin has, I've spent 10 years with him, and so he's really been a big influence. Lovie Smith has been a big influence, and I've worked with some really good people in the past, but those 2 gentlemen I'll just bring to the forefront.
What specifically with Coughlin that maybe he's done that's helped you?
Tom is old school. He's about discipline. He believes that you tell him the truth, and he doesn't hold anything back when he sees an issue or a problem or what have you. He's upfront and honest with them, and so I find myself doing that constantly as a secondary coach or just as a coach. Period.
Coach, when you're facing a number 1 receiver like Julio Jones, it seemed like last time that the Falcons played the Panthers, they were moving him around, getting him in that slot position inside. What kind of challenges does that present with mismatches potentially? Yeah, that is very challenging for a defense when they move a receiver around like that. Obviously, you have to change up your coverage combinations, and you don't always get a chance to match up like you want to match up.
as evidence, the big throw at the end of the half in the 2-minute situation that he caught for 48. So it's a big challenge for us. Since we now are aware that we know that he moves around and we're aware of that, we have to make some secondary changes, and we've tried to make the appropriate changes so that we can get help if he's in one of those positions.
Scott said the most advice he's received since becoming this new position is be yourself. And Kyle Allen said, he has no problem. Scott said the same thing. Is that what makes him unique, is just his ability to just be himself even in situations like this?
I would say so, yes. I think if you be yourself, you be your best. That's an old phrase. Okay, I believe in that phrase. I don't think you try to be someone that you're not. So I would definitely adhere to that.
Is that harder, Perry, for a guy who's grown up with a famous football coaching father like Scott? And how have you seen sort of Scott become his own man and his own coach?
Before Scott was elevated to this position, Scott had a lot of, and we would talk on the treadmill, just in general, et cetera. He had a lot of good thoughts, ideas. You could see the innovation in his mind of what he would like to do, or what he saw when he saw a defense and what kind of mismatches he thought he could create. And so I think that he's groomed himself through the years, okay, by being with his dad, that, hey, when I have the opportunity to do this, this is how I see it. It might not necessarily mean that that's the way his dad saw it, but that's the way I see it, because we all see things through different lenses. So I think that Scott will just be himself when he's calling the game on Sunday. And if he needs help from his dad's there.
What weird question, were you guys like early morning treadmill guys or late?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely early morning treadmill guys, yeah. I mean, we don't have any time during the day.
Harry, another weird question for you, but what was your pregame routine even before warm-up started down on the field, once you get to the stadium, maybe when you wake up in the morning, and how will that maybe change, or will you try to keep it the same?
You might laugh when I tell you this. Maybe I shouldn't reveal this. My pregame routine is yoga in the morning, okay? I love a good hot yoga in the morning. Then I review some tape for the game, and then I like to take a nice hot shower after that yoga and have my pregame meal, and then I get ornery. I get really like cranky and moody, and I'm ready to go battle.
I'm sorry to keep asking weird questions, but do you keep the food the same every time, or do you change it up, or what?
No, I change it up. Sometimes it's a smoothie. It just depends on how hard I drive myself in the yoga.
How do you get yourself into the ornery headspace, coming from a peaceful headspace in a hot yoga setting?
I think it's because of the competition that I'm getting ready to go against. I think I'm going into battle, and it's us versus them, and so that's an easy space to get into.
So will you do that again coming up this Sunday? Will you keep that routine?
Yes, I do plan on keeping that routine.
How do you do that on the road? Like hot yoga on the road?
I put a towel under the door of my hotel room. I turn up the heat, and I turn on the YouTube, and I go at it.
Coach Fewell, I know you're more concerned with Sunday, but your alma mater, Lenore Ryan, has a big game this Saturday as a
Yes.
proud alum. I'm sure you're maybe keeping an ear or an eye out on that.
No doubt.
So, have you had any contact with them?
Unfortunately, I have not had contact with them. I had planned to make contact with them this week, and then the circumstances didn't allow that to happen. But I want to give them a shout out, okay? And I'm pulling for them, and they had a great win last week against Carson Newman, and I'm looking forward to seeing them win there this week.
Harry,
Teamwork for Harry.
that competitive fire, that always been there for you with this game? Just the kind of approach you take to it with that sort of intensity?
Yeah, I think that's the edge that I need personally in order to go into battle, because I do think it's a battle. I think it's us against them, and I want to come out on top. So I have to have the right mindset.
Is that tight end position kind of by committee this week?
Yes.
And will Alex see some snaps there as well?
Yes.
Anything else, guys? Thank you, Coach.
Okay, thank you.